All right, so for those of you who don't know, Father Jack was ordained a priest yesterday. This is not a normal Sunday Mass at Epiphany. So welcome to all, and thank you for having me, Bishop and Father. This incredible thing happened yesterday as we had the reception for Father Jack. I walked in and I looked at this card that was the invitation for his graduation dinner. It was May 24th, 2015, and the dinner was at 5:30, which was exactly the same as yesterday. And for me, I had this moment where I think I channeled my inner Father Jack Watt, and I was like, wow, no way. And I couldn't wait to tell somebody. And I think I told Monsignor, and I don't know if he was impressed or not, but I was very impressed. And so God always has these plans for us that we never see, right? I know that many of you probably know Father Jack or have known him for a very long time. And if you know him, you know that he's this dreamer. He's a guy that always thinks big. He's got this impressive imagination, and he seems to think that absolutely anything is possible. And when Father Jack entered the University of Illinois, he wanted to be an architect. He studied architecture, and he was planning to work for Disney as an Imagineer. So he wanted to put his imagination and his creative talents to work there to sort of make fantasies come to life, his imaginary world come to life for everybody else. It was going to be a career where what was in his head, his big dreams became everybody else's, to bring that childlike wonder to life. But as you all see today, the Lord had very different plans. The Lord showed him a different path, one that Jack was made for from the beginning. The path most fitting for him to become a saint. The Lord showed Father Jack that his imagination was, in a sense, too limited, that his call to help people enter into this fantasy world for entertainment at Disney, which of course wasn't bad, was limited. It wasn't what he wanted for him. The Lord showed Jack, the University of Illinois, that he was calling him to something very different. Instead, he went and made him a priest forever. Priest even in heaven, forever. And his call as a priest, at its most basic level, is to offer sacrifice and mediate between God and man. He will now bestow divine things today to offer the holy sacrifice of the Mass, forgive sins, heal the sick, offer gifts to God for you and for him. He'll give his own body as a sacrifice, and he'll be this conduit between God and man, as priests have always been, to intercede for the church. Now, yesterday, when Bishop Lou laid his hands on him and said the prayer of ordination, Father Jack was changed forever. I think we all need to try to understand that. He became a man who now acts in the person of Christ, the head. We say, in persona Christi Capitis. He became a man called to offer these sacrifices and mediate for the people, for you, for me. This has always been what priests have done. It's what Jesus did, and it's what Father Jack will do and keep doing. We say that he's now ontologically changed at his very core. He didn't just get a new job yesterday. He changed. He's now conformed to Jesus Christ, the great high priest, our great high priest. And he will be shepherding souls, your souls, my soul, to heaven. That imagination the Lord gave him will now be used to bring the unseen realities of God to life through his preaching, maybe even with references to Disney, through his hands, through the sacraments, and through his presence to everyone. You know, our first or second year of seminary, Father Jack told me that in prayer, he desired and believed that he was being called to help convert the entire world to the faith. That the entire world would know Jesus, would be in union with him, and would go to heaven, every single person. And when he looked in my eyes and said that, I knew he believed it. He had the eyes of a dreamer, the eyes of someone who is always seeking and looking to heaven, the eyes of someone always following God, our true and great Imagineer. This diocese is obviously very blessed to have him working toward that path here. He's now called to help all of you, every single person here, to find their path toward heaven and to stay on that path, sometimes the hardest part. John of the Cross, Teresa of Avila, saints, they talk about how every single person is called to union with God on earth and to make it to heaven for eternity. Every single person. This is our call. And isn't that exactly what Jesus was praying for in today's gospel? We call today's gospel, which is John 17, the high priestly prayer because it's Jesus praying to the Father as high priest. He's praying in his humanity to the Father. He has already, at the beginning of John chapter 17, prayed for the disciples and for himself. Now he prays that all might be one, every person, Jews and Gentiles, that everyone might believe in him and that all might have perfect union with God and with each other. This is our call. It's that same goal that Father Jack spoke about just a few years ago in seminary, that the whole world might be converted, that he might be an instrument in those conversions. And in that conversion, everyone, the whole world, would be unified in peace and in love. And of course, our example of unity is found in the Trinity. The Trinity itself, the love between the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. It's a union of goodness, a union of love for every single one of us to imitate, to love God and to love our neighbor, and to walk with each other in that love, in that union of love. You imagine what the world would be like if we could all imitate God's love perfectly every single day. If we walked in union with each other, this union of love toward heaven for all eternity. This is what we are called to do. The saints say that this is possible. We must believe that. This is what Father Jack believes is possible. But even Father Jack, the great dreamer, didn't initially see what God had in store for him, that he would be a high priest in the line of Melchizedek of old. This is because the good things that God will give us, they exceed our longings and our desires. He goes beyond what we desire. So we must not look to this world to satisfy our love, but we should always be looking to heaven, to always dream for heaven, that we might be in heaven one day in union with all of the saints. So I want everyone here to be open to what God has in store for you in particular. Trust in his love and trust that if you are open and docile, the Lord will blow you away like he did Father Jack. Imagine big with the Lord. So as we approach the altar today, let us ask the Lord, the first and the greatest Imagineer, to increase our faith, our hope, and our love, that we might all walk together through the hardest of moments toward heaven, always dreaming with Father Jack that the whole world might be converted and we might all become saints.